And plant growth regulators. Now there are different growth regulators of plants are present, like auxins, gibberellins, cytokinins, abscisic acid, and ethylene. Okay. Now other identified plant growth regulators are also there, like brasinosteroids. This previously mentioned things, that means auxins, gibberellins, cytokinins, abscisic acid, and ethylene. These five hormones are the most important plant growth regulators of plants, and all of these others which we are going to talk about are not that much important. This can be found in some typical species of plants, not the others. Okay, so brasinosteroids are a class of polyhydroxysteroids. It's a group of plant growth regulators. It will stimulate the cell elongation and cell division. Salicylic acid is a very important ingredient nowadays, because we can utilize them in the SAR or systemic acquired resistance generation in plants. Now this can fight against the pathogenic invaders. So it's a salicylic acid mechanism is there inside the plants, which is a host defense mechanism. Also the jasmonic acid or jasmonates. Now this is also helping the seed to germinate, but also it has some effect during the antagonistic effect against the pathogenic invaders. Sorry. Okay. Plant peptides hormones are also there, which is also important ingredient for plant growth and development. And also polyamines are there. Polyamines are also part of plant growth and development circle. And nitric oxide can serve as a signal in hormone and defense responses. So nitric oxide is important in some cases. Now there are some different types between these growth inducing components. They may be natural, they may be synthetic. Natural, that means they are found naturally in plants like auxin, cytokine, gibberellin, and all these things. Synthetic means those are man-made, like indole acid, 2,4-D, and all this chemically synthetic components of which resembles the structure and functionality of the naturally occurring growth regulators. Both groups of regulators regulate or influence the cell division, cell differentiation, rooting and shooting of the plant, and the senescence, that means the aging and the death of the plant. Now let us begin with each of these plant growth regulators. First is the auxin. Auxin promote the growth. Okay, so it's a growth promoting chemical. It promotes the cell division and cell elongation of the plants. And this is the primary plant auxin, is called the indole acetic acid or IAA. Okay, now common synthetic forms of auxins that can be available in the market are indole butyric acid or IBA, naphthalene acetic acid or NAA, and 2,4-dichlorophenoxyacetic acid or 2,4-D. So 2,4-D, NAA, and IBA both are the synthetic form of the auxin derivative. Okay. Now this is useful for phototropism, geotropism, apical dominance, and root formation. Phototropism means the plant growth towards the light source. Geotropism means the plant growth in response to the gravitational force. Apical dominance means the terminal bud prevent the development of the lateral bud of the plant. So the lateral bud development will be suppressed and the terminal bud development will be increased. As a result, the plant will go upward and upward and upward, and the branches are restricted to be formed. And the root formation is also a part. Okay. and abscission can be done for the rooting. So it helps in meristematic tissue development, apical meristem like the root meristem and shoot meristem. So auxin not only helps the tree to grow up but also helps the root to grow down. Now the gibberellin or gibberellic acid. Now the commercial supplies contain the form of fungus Gibberella fusicorii. Now Gibberella fusicorii is a kind of fungus from where we can derive the synthetic type of gibberellic acid. Okay, and this gibberellic acid stimulates the stem cell growth through a cell elongation and cell division procedure. In some species, these hormones are required to enhance, in other, it will help to inhibit the growth. Okay, now this gibberellic acid 3 or GA3 is commonly used to promote the callus growth in many kind of plant tissues, and it induces the dwarf or stunted plants to elongate. For example, C without the gibberellic acid, the tree will be dwarf like this, but after addition of gibberellic acid in a particular amount, the tree will reach its desired height and length. Third kind of hormone is cytokinins. Now cytokinin promotes cell division and delay the leaf aging. As the name suggests, cytokinin, cyto means the cells, so it will help to divide the cells rapidly and produce the organism. It slows the process of senescence, that means the biological aging, and it prevents the falling of leaf from the tree. The most frequently used cytokinins are the 6-benzyl aminopurine or BAP, and another is the 6-benzyl adenine or BA. Now BAP and BA are the synthetic derivative of cytokinin. And the most naturally occurring cytokinin are giatin and 2IP. Fourth kind is ethylene. This is a gas that forms in the tissue undergoing stress. Now stress response leads to the production of tissues, this ethylene, and this ethylene will help the fruit to ripen faster. Now we can add this ethylene from outside to ripe the fruits of our desire. Now ethylene affects the growth and the cell shape, and also it helps the strict texture of the plant and texture of the fruit of the plant. The nuclear protein ethylene insensitive 2 or EIN2 is regulated by the ethylene production, and in turn regulates other hormones including abscisic acid and stress hormones. Now as this sensitive gene recognizes that there is a huge stress onto the plant, they will start producing ethylene and ripening the fruits. As the fruit ripens, the fruit will fall off, and then they also produce this abscisic acid, which is responsible for the abscission of the plant parts, and will eventually lose all those leaves and all those other body parts, and as a result the tree ultimately will die. Final one is the abscisic acid. Now abscisic acid were originally believed to be involved in abscission. This is now known only to be the case in a small number of plants. Abscisic acid mediated signaling also plays an important part in the plant response to environmental stress and plant pathogens. This is the structure of abscisic acid. I don't encourage you to remember all the structures, but just remember the functionality or the application of all these hormones. The abscisic acid then translocates to the leaves, where it rapidly alters the osmotic potential of the stomatal gourd cell. As you can see in this picture, This is the stomata and this is the guard cells. Now the osmotic potential of the stomatal guard cells will be gone. As a result, it will cause them to shrink and stomata will close. As you can see in this picture, the stomata is getting closed. Okay, so this is the activity of abscisic acid, and as a result, the whole leaf will fall off.